Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Today, I'll be sharing with you guys a comic strip on the episode of Alga Bloom, which is Cyanobacteria harmful algae bloom CyanoHAB. The comic consists of three main characters, which are Greg, Mike, and Susie. Let's just jump right into the comic adventure, shall we? On a one fine morning. Mike, did you read the newspaper today? There's a very interesting story on the headline. Really? What is it about? Here, look at it. It's about South Sentosa River turning pink in Singapore. How bizarre, right? Oh yeah, it says here that residents also spotted dead fishes accompanied with a foul rotting smell at the same canal due to algae bloom. Caused by Cyanobacteria, The event must have been a Cyanobacteria harmful algae bloom then. The symptoms also fit the shoes in the situation. Cyano what? Are you cursing or something? What? No, it's Cyanobacteria harmful algae bloom, also known as CyanoHAB. So you're saying that CyanoHAB is one of the many types of bloom, correct? Yes. Precisely. CyanoHAB is a bloom consists of Cyanobacteria species that is also known as blue-green algae. They are identified as an ancient organism that evolved 3.5 billion years ago and is responsible for the changing of chemistry of the planet Earth and making it inhabitable. Today, cyanobacteria have developed eco-physiological techniques that enable them to take advantage of anthropogenic changes to these habitats, such as nitrogen over-enrichment and hydrologic changes to ecosystem. The most noticeable and troubling indicator of their current ecological progress is an increase in their frequency and visibility of toxic cyanobacterial blooms, also known as CyanoHAB. Some of the factors known to trigger CyanoHAB are nutrient, light, temperature, turbidity, and stagnant water. I see. You said CyanoHABs consist of cyanobacteria species, right? What are some of the examples of the species? Yes, there are many cyanobacteria species can cause bloom, but not all cyanobacteria blooms are actually harmful. A cyanobacteria algae bloom can only be harmful when the particular bloom of a species can have negative impact on humans, marine, freshwater environment, and coastal economies. Some of the dominant cyanobacteria species responsible for CyanoHABs are Microcystis, Dolichospermum, Raphidiopsis, Aphanozomenon. I think I kinda get it. So there are actually a lot of cyanobacteria species, but these are some of the dominant ones? Yep, just like that. Glad you understand it. Okay, I think I better continue my work now. Wait, I still have so much to ask you. I think I have to start charging you for each question I answer. Just one last question, Mike. So these harmful blooms of cyanobacteria, does it have any effect on human health? I'm not quite sure about that. I'm only aware of its effect on marine organisms, such as fish and invertebrates. Oh, and I also read it somewhere that the CyanoHABs could also place an impact on pets. Pets? You mean like cats and dogs? How so? Does the CyanoHABs release an airborne toxin or something like that? No, pets are usually affected by exposure of contaminated water by drinking or swimming in the water body. Some of the symptoms of pet exposed to CyanoHABs are excess salivation, nausea, trouble breathing, vomiting, diarrhea, and seizure. A number of dogs and also livestock such as cattle have died as a result of exposure to cyanotoxin in water. Dogs have died because of CyanoHABs? That's heartbreaking. Take me instead of the dogs, Bloom. They are innocent creatures. Yes, a lot of organisms are affected due to the blooming of harmful cyanobacteria. These organisms include marine lives. High biomass of blooms, whether toxin or non-toxin, may cause hypoxia in the water column. This will result in higher mortality rate of local fishes, shellfish, and also invertebrate. Since you asked, I am kind of curious to know what are the effects that cyanoHABs have on humans. I know, right? Could it also cause death to humans? Hey guys, I'm back. What are you guys talking about? Hey Suzy, we were just talking about the possible effect of cyanoHABs on humans. Oh, that depends on the type of cyanotoxin released by cyanobacteria species, right? Really? Fascinating. I thought that cyanobacteria species all release the same type of toxin. Different cyanobacteria producing toxins secrete different types of cyanotoxin. The different types of cyanotoxin also display different effect on human health. As an example, cyanobacteria species such as Microcystis and Dolichospermum releases microcystin LR, causes abdominal pain, headache, sore throat, vomiting, and nausea to humans. Aphanizomenon ovalisporum and Umazakia natans are responsible for symptoms such as fever, headache, vomiting, bloody diarrhea, releases Slidospermopsin cyanotoxin. Chrysosporum ovalisporum and Cuspidotrix that releases anatoxin A group could affect the human health by salivation and also respiratory paralysis that leads to death. Whoa, I was right. CyanoHAB could also cause death to human. Pretty amazing, right? Terrifying, but amazing. So does CyanoHAB have any good side to it? I mean, all I hear from the start is just suffering, sick, death, and sadness. From research and studies, it can be observed that CyanoHABs are fully detrimental and have no beneficial effect. Several high-profile cyanobacterial blooms that occurred in multiple places across the globe were discovered to leave a major impact economically, socially, and also environmentally to big developing countries. Water bodies such as Lake Taihu in China and Lake Erie in North America are among the water sources that experience CyanoHAB water contamination. Doesn't Lake Erie function as a water source for city of Toledo, Ohio? So this means that their drinking source of the area is contaminated? Yep, that is correct. Due to the contamination, the bloom left over 1 million people without drinking water for a brief period of time. That's crazy! So with all this negative impact of CyanoHAB, is there any method to avoid blooming of harmful cyanobacteria to occur? Look who's asking a lot of questions now, huh? Suzy, you should charge him for each question he asks. Hey, I can hear you! Yes, Mike, there is a lot of mitigation solution designed for CyanoHAB. In fact, they are divided into 3 approaches, which are physical, chemical, and biological. Here are the mitigation plans. The physical approaches tackles cyanobacteria bloom by avoiding the formation of bloom in the water body. Some examples are sonication, surface mixers, and also oxygenation. The chemical approaches disrupt the chemical properties of cyanobacteria bloom. For examples are hydrogen peroxide and also geochemical compound. Lastly, the biological approaches alter the behavior of cyanobacteria species. The examples are plant extract. Whoa, how do you know all this stuff? You're like a wizard, a CyanoHAB wizard. I had a 2,000 pages assignment on this topic. Gain all this along the way, even though the assignment was a pain to go through. At least the things I learn while executing it is useful now. Yikes. Sounds like a nightmare. Yes, Greg, my life is a nightmare. So, are all the methods effective, Susie? Each method has their own benefit and also works best in their own way. However, there are also limitations to each approaches. For example, the ultrasound, it will discourage cyanobacteria's growth, and it will also have a short-term effect and can lyse cell and introduce intracellular toxin into water. Since any measurement has both benefit and drawback, the trick is to find a balance. Finding a fair compromise between them is the key to progress. We get it now. That's good. So, how should we end our lesson today? I think we can conclude that cyanobacteria harmful algae bloom is seen as a worldwide phenomenon, which left a big impact on the public water supplies and also aquatic ecosystem across the world. We could also say that local water management authorities should also further their research to decide on the best plan for protecting the marine environment and public health in the region. Since there are many limitations to our traditional mitigation system, right? Yes, exactly. Community education is also crucial, as it is essential to raise public concern about this problem in order to reduce nutrient intake into waterways and also reduce human exposure to cyanobacteria bloom. I agree. I also think that there should be a systematic and successful plan to reduce greenhouse gas emission and further climatic warming in order to mitigate CyanoHABs from occurring, since temperature is one of the inducing factors of the bloom. That's correct, Greg. You guys hungry? Starving. Should we get sushi? The end. Recap section. At the end of the comic strip, you'll be able to obtain 5 important aspects of cyanobacterial harmful algae bloom. The 5 aspects are: first, the type of species and factor inducing the episode of bloom. Second, the potential impact of CyanoHAB on human health and animals. Third, is CyanoHABs detrimental or have benefits? Fourth, mitigation plan that could be executed to avoid occurrence of CyanoHABs. And 5, lesson that can be obtained. First aspect. Some of the species for CyanoHABs stated are Microcystis, Dolichospermum, Raphidiopsis, and Aphanizomenon, and the factors inducing the bloom are nutrients, temperature, light, stagnant water, and also turbidity. Second aspect. The potential impact of CyanoHABs on humans depend on different type of cyanotoxin and its concentration. Different cyanotoxin causes different health impact on human. In general, the direct contact of land animal and contaminated water would cause deterioration of health condition of the pet. For marine organisms, they are affected by hypoxic condition of water that will eventually cause death of them. Third aspect. CyanoHAB is seen as fully detrimental due to the negative impact on Lake Erie and the Lake Tahoe. Fourth, the mitigation plan is divided into 3 approaches, which are biological, chemical, and physical. Different approaches tackles different aspects of cyanobacteria bloom. Lastly, the 5th aspect is the lesson to learn. The aspect consists of future suggestion and improvement of mitigation and public awareness about the algae bloom phenomenon. That is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching.